Who cares?
Can you go back to your shot really quick? There was those white things were around the neck of that person's.
Well, can we say that? Can we say the white things are around someone's neck?
I can.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm
It's
white
our show.
and Mexican.
Shit, you're mixed race. That makes you a minority.
Yeah, so I can be a racist. Right?
Minority-owned business here.
Women.
Cut that out.
No, I've got that. Yeah, you haven't started yet, right?
Probably.
We're rolling.
Shit.
Authorities are desperately searching for a killer accused of going on a rampage.
The search for a possible serial killer.
An urgent manhunt for a man authorities believe is behind a triple killing spree.
Police here speculating that a possible serial killer may have struck again.
Told her to get out of the car, and that's when she became afraid, and then I shot her.
Hello and welcome to Jesse Wiseman's Crime Corner. It's going to be a fun one. What's wrong with Jesse? I don't know. She doesn't know.
That's the overall purpose
Therapist
of the show.
doesn't know. You know what I mean? Doctor doesn't know. Why the fuck would you know? Don't act like you know what's wrong with me. Anyways, we're here.
Yeah.
Bow.
Did you say the name of the show? Or do we still do that?
Jesse Wiseman's Crime Corner.
Yeah.
Welcome to it. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I got that part
Crime
out of the way.
juice.
Okay,
You got
good.
crime juice.
Yeah, I got
Crime
a little crime juice.
Joel, you have
Crime juice.
colonial juice.
Colonial juice.
And he's got a footman over there.
Yes, he's got a footman. What'd you name him? Paul Revere.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if anyone needs a beer, shake your can, look him in the eyes, turn around, pull your pants down, shake your tail feather, turn back around, give him a wink, like a fist bump to
To the butthole. Excuse me, sorry.
fist bump his butthole, and then he'll bring you a beer.
Bring you one beer.
Paul Revere.
Ball
right?
Revere.
Yeah, the Paul Revere of beer.
Paul
Ball
Revere.
Revere of beer.
I feel like that takes a little bit longer than just standing up and getting one myself. Nah. Okay, well.
No.
No.
I'm gonna try it at least
You
once.
can't leave the... Yeah.
Yeah, you're being crazy now.
You're locked in. You're not allowed to
Oh,
leave.
shit,
You're
I
on a
forgot.
show.
My shift just started.
Yeah, you're at
Yeah.
work.
I'm clocked in, ready
You're
to go.
on the fucking clock. Clocked and locked. We have a fun one today. And don't worry, it's not kids. We're not dealing with kids. We're dealing with
Thank
the
God.
opposite of kids, right?
Does someone die?
Joel. Switch.
Well, it's
You
a
guys switch.
it's a crime show. It's not a
Switch.
murder show.
You're fucking Paul Revere now. Switch. You're going to be fucking
Got it.
fist bumping buttholes, okay?
Got to change clothes, too.
Yes, people die.
Okay. I'm just prepping myself.
We're
That's all.
technically dealing with a serial killer.
Yes.
But it's different, right?
Yeah, Diet Coke with serial killers.
Right. It's different.
I love Diet Coke.
You're going to love this one then.
This case is brought to us by Captain Fantastic. What's his...
Sick. No, that's his name. What a show. We got Captain Fantastic and
Cindy
this guy.
Cindy
over here.
Reza is the
Yeah.
Insta name. But Captain Fantastic... Wait, you're not going to say his name?
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Do you say his name? Cindy? I've never met a male Cindy before.
It's
I thought it's like
2024.
a joke. Okay. Well, Cindy.
Them
Cindy
they.
Reza. So, hello. Not
They
sure if
them.
this account is monitored or open to case suggestions. Yeah, we get to it. Right?
Eventually.
Eventually.
We get to it every once in a while. This was in February of like 2 years ago, probably. But I love your
Crime Corner
show.
wasn't even a thing at that point.
Right. I love your show. Thank you. Would like to float out the case of Elizabeth Wettlaufer.
Oh,
God, if there's the other thing about this case that's going to trigger people is the names in this case are
Yeah.
worse than any other case we've ever done.
Even the foreign cases that we've done.
Oh, yeah.
These are like the worst examples of American names I've ever seen.
Right. But
Oh, no,
they're,
not American. Canadian.
they're Canadian.
Okay, thank God.
So in Canada, as we suspected, they do what we do, only like worse, right? Mm-hmm. It's a case out of Canada involving repressed homosexuality.
True.
Everything we love, right? Mm-hmm. Religious trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Familiar
flirty.
with that.
Uggo on elderly crime.
Hell yeah.
One of our faves.
It's my favorite Pornhub category.
Bad poetry.
I mean, that's subjective.
And farting during the interrogation.
And that's what sold me.
Fighting and farting, yeah. Says all the flaws in Canada healthcare and criminal justice, which is true. So the amount
this is
of
their
time,
description still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good.
It was
Yeah.
good, right?
Sold.
That's
I'm
why I
sold.
read it, because I was like, in the beginning, we kind of tease it a little bit, letting you know all the things we love that are going to be in the case. And I think that, it covers it. It's enticing. It's on brand.
Very much so. That I actually got really excited about writing this one out.
Right?
I had a lot of fun with this one.
Great
Had a lot of my
description.
favorite things.
Dude, that was
Great
a great description from Cindy.
From Cindy.
Captain Cindy.
Cindy Reza, Captain Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. We're loving it. And like we said, it's not kids, it's the opposite of kids.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, because you can almost, I'll say it. I'll say it. So a lot of the people that die in this case, you go, you know what I mean? You're not going to be devastated, right?
I mean, two of them in particular, they were dead just a couple weeks after anyway.
Gosh, I mean, if they had their wits about them, they would have said, kill me now, right? Right?
If I were in this care home, I'd probably want to die anyway.
God bless.
I do not want to end up in a care home.
No.
That is like a fate worse than death, in my opinion. Nursing home? God, no.
So are you gonna hate little Elizabeth Wettlaufer for anything other than her horrible name? I don't
Wettlaufer.
know. I know, Wettlaufer.
I've already got a very strong opinion about her, and I think it comes through in the notes. I'm in love with this woman. She's exactly my type.
Coop is in love. And this show is going to be a love letter to her from Coop. Coop, kick it off, buddy.
James Silcox was a classic example of a member of the greatest generation. Hey, we're
Is that the
we're
word? Did
talking
we
about
start
a
off
war
with,
here.
like-
Already another
It's already
fucking
the
name.
worst
Right?
name. Nothing rolls off the tongue. Nothing makes sense. You
Yeah.
go, what?
Silcox?
Silcox.
It's supposed to be Wilcox. They
Right.
get everything wrong in Canada.
That's the thing. It's Canada. It's like they take everything that we do that's good and make it just a little bit fucking annoying. James Yeah.
James Gagarin served with distinction in the Royal Canadian Army Service Corps during World War II and managed to not only survive the experience, but did so without committing any war crimes.
Oh, James.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with the military history of our neighbors to the north, they have a habit of treating the Geneva Conventions as a to-do list instead of a set of rules. Essentially, if you're in a war zone and you smell maple syrup, just start running.
Yep.
Or pray for
They
a
are
swift
going
death.
They're worse than us?
Debatable.
Look.
I mean, Canada's not going to beat us at anything, so... Mr. Wilcox went on to marry the love of his life, Agnes Bond, and the couple had a brood of 6 denim-clad hockey enthusiasts.
By the way, take her last name.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Now she's Agnes Silcox.
As opposed to him being James Bond.
Right?
That would have been cool.
Hell yeah. Their story seemed to be on track for a classic happy ending until James took a tumble and broke his hip in the mid-2000s. Why is that funny?
I like the usage of tumble.
This is like an 84-year-old
Yeah, because
war
like
veteran.
when you're 84, you could just like step down a stair weird
True.
and get your affairs in order because you're about to die. Yeah.
The war veteran's family was too busy to look after him, so they lovingly dumped him in the Crescent Care nursing home so they could focus on drinking Molson's and eating poutine. Not long after that, James Silcox passed away.
Shame. You know what I mean? But
He died?
You know what I
Long,
mean?
happy life, war hero,
Yeah.
84 years old. You kind of expect it.
Yeah, it'd be like the grandkids or whatever is like, you know, my grandpa passed away. Oh, you know.
Oh, shucks.
I'm sorry about that.
Like, oh, really? I thought he already
Die.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss, though.
Yeah, like he was in a home. He was almost 90. Like we haven't like had any meaningful interactions for years.
Really lived long enough to get in the home. It's been
Yeah.
a long time since we've caught up on our families lately.
Right.
I heard that those old people homes are like crazy. They're fucking each other all the time.
Those
That's
are the
all there is to
retirement
it.
The good ones,
communities.
yeah.
Yeah, the nursing homes aren't fuck fests, the retirement communities.
Okay.
Yeah. So the people fucking.
Are the employees?
Right. The people fucking in like a nursing home are, yeah, the staff with the.
Oh, you think so?
Torturing the patients.
A retirement community where people are just like, look, basically what a retirement community is, like, I don't want to see any kids or families, right? Like, I want to just be around other people my age. I want to drink, take pills, wear a muumuu, drink a martini, whatever.
They honestly the communities
Exactly
sound pretty
right.
awesome. The nursing homes, okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, in nursing homes, if anybody's doing any fucking,
It's not good.
the residents might be involved, but
It's the staff. I get
it's
it.
Yeah.
by the decision of the staff.
Right.
Oof.
I mean, I'm kind of.
That seems dark to me.
Oh, I was going to say
It's dark.
I'm looking a little bit more towards retirement at this point.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Right? The death of a retiree in a nursing home isn't really suspicious. It's the second most common cause of death for the elderly in Canada.
Death by nursing homes.
Yeah.
On the death certificate, the cause of death just says nursing home.
Yeah. I mean, they're really not great places, right? You put people in a home because it's like you don't have, you know, medical grade bed and IVs and shit at your house, but like it's not a great situation. But you have someone to take care of your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, whatever, because you really can't do it.
Yeah, you don't care enough to take care of your elderly family member
get an
anymore, which I wouldn't
in-home-
want to do that shit either.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think it would be a whole lot easier is if they just, like, once you walk through the door, you look at it like, I'm sure you guys have seen the setup in like a slaughterhouse for cows. Walk in.
Conveyor belt right up to the...
Bolt through the front of the forehead.
Right.
They go down. You just push them off to the side, bring the next one in. And then you just tell the families, like, oh, yeah, they're having a good time.
Yeah, in effect, with all the drugs they give them and shit, it's kind of what they're doing.
Nursing homes are so fucking depressing.
So it's not uncommon, obviously, for someone to die in a nursing home. Following closely behind freezing to death in their homes in Canada due to the inflated cost of heating oil and natural gas. If there's one thing Canadians love more than apologizing, it's proving that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Ain't that the fucking truth?
I had to hold back so fucking much.
So good.
This intro was initially like close to 2 pages long.
Of just fuck you, Canada.
Shitting on Canada, yeah.
You do love
Canadian government.
but-
I like Canadians, not French
Yes.
Canadians, and I just dislike the Canadian government.
Right. I like the ones that are smart enough to like move here.
Yeah,
You
the
know
good
what I
ones.
mean? And then you're like, okay. A lot of my, favorite comedians, Canadian.
All the good ones.
All the good ones.
Hugh
Sadly,
Jackman.
the death of
he's
James
Australian.
Silcox was anything but natural. It was murder. After surviving the war against the Nazis, James had met his demise at the hands of a fellow Canadian. But who would have the means, let alone the motive, to kill a sweet old man? As we will soon find out, he was yet another victim of the Canadian healthcare system.
Boom.
Oh, nailed
Mic
it.
drop.
Blam. We're not even going to talk about the serial killer. It's all going to be like, we're blaming it on Canada.
And he had
We're
to
not
talk about
gonna
Nazis.
Say the name. Yeah.
And he mentioned Nazis already. We're only, 15 minutes in.
I got to stay on brand.
Yep. Okay, technically he was the victim of a sociopath with bipolar disorder, but if we didn't take the opportunity to make fun of Canadian government, we couldn't call ourselves American.
True.
Right?
That's true.
It is
Absolutely
true.
true.
It's our favorite pastime. It's one of the cornerstones of our, our
Childhood?
our democracy?
Democracy, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Culture.
I think
Culture.
it's democracy, right?
Republic.
That's a thing, right?
Democratic
Democracy?
Republic.
Democratic
Yeah.
Republic.
During the summer of 1967 in Ontario, Canada, Doug and Hazel Parker brought a sweet little angel of death into the world.
Aw.
They named their new bundle of joy Elizabeth May Parker. That one's a good one.
That's a good name.
It's
Gosh,
like
I would have stayed with that,
It's
huh?
like one of the only normal names in the entire show.
Exactly right, and it doesn't stick. The Parker family had all the staples of a classic Canadian household. Doug Parker was a dedicated Christian and staunch homophobe. Hazel played the role of homemaker as well as being a doormat for her controlling husband. Very little happened in their home without Doug's permission. Isn't that great?
It's my boy, dude.
You know
Sounds
what
like
I mean?
a traditional
Sweet.
nuclear family right there.
Right, sweetest part of the story, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, by a long shot.
You think with all of that, good traditional values that they have, what could go wrong, Coop?
You would think so, but
Right.
I mean, as we'll find out, we're dealing with a bit of a troubled child here. So Elizabeth was a troubled child. Awkward and shy, she struggled to make friends. This was further I gotta see. I'm expecting you to read the more complicated, complicated sentences, so I put big words in
Okay,
there.
I'll take it.
Oh no, I got it.
Okay.
This was further exacerbated by the fact that her father disapproved of the one childhood friend she did have, an effeminate boy named Glenn Hart. Doug was concerned that he might catch the gay from the young Broadway enthusiast, so he forbade Elizabeth from seeing Glenn. The two were forced to keep their friendship a secret.
Like,
The colonial guy keeps
little,
saying hell
last
yeah.
row's little chime-ins.
The colonial
have been
guy.
so
It's
good.
not his name today.
Sorry, the colonial, the patriot.
the Patriot.
The Patriot. Yeah. He keeps
His
saying
side.
hell yeah every time there's anything
Hell.
anti-gay.
Hell
the
yeah.
most fucked up parts.
Yeah.
So in school, Elizabeth exhibited all of the feminine qualities of the average girl from Ontario. She was the goalie of the school field hockey team. Nice. Played in the band, and was sexually attracted to women.
And chose Home Depot over Lowe's, as we know.
Also, like many other socially awkward teenagers, she dabbled in poetry. The following is one of her award-worthy poems. So this is actually one of her poems. She wrote it later in life, but I couldn't find any of the poems from when she was a teenager because the internet wasn't around back then.
Sure.
Can you do a Canadian accent?
Oh God, no.
For sure, no?
Should
yeah.
Maybe
Oh, yeah,
Jesse
you
does
can.
the quote?
It's like Minnesota No.
Well, I feel like I can do a Minnesotan accent, but Canadian is just like
Canadian is only
slightly different.
certain words, right?
Yeah.
They can sound normal American, but with certain words, they'll be like, it's off the fucking rails, right?
Yeah. I'll just do Minnesotan. Actually,
Minnesotan.
that might make it better.
Oh, yeah.
She watches some of the life drain from the notch in his neck vein, you know?
Damn.
Okay, the isn't in there.
Heartwarming.
As it soothingly pools, it smothers her pain.
Oh, okay.
Sweet stiletto so sharp, it carves another cut.
All right.
Obeying a call, she moves to his guts.
Okay, that's beautiful, huh?
Don't you know?
Jesus.
You almost became an
Poetry.
Irish pirate again.
I know.
Poetry.
Like, anytime I do an accent, I just default to
It slowly
half-ass
turns
Irish.
into
I thought he was going to
pirate.
be like, all right, I'll do the best accent I can, and then just talk in his normal voice and do it.
Yeah. Well, take it back. Let's do that again.
All right.
Edit it out. Sadly, nobody appreciated Elizabeth's artistic talent, and she was forced to pursue a more stable career. I get that. Initially, she wanted to be a journalist, but instead chose to pursue a degree in counseling at a Baptist college. So her dad, we mentioned it briefly earlier, but we should probably kind of stress how overbearing and
Yes.
hardline religious her dad was.
Yes.
So her friend Glenn Hart, just the fact that it's not like Glenn was openly homosexual at that age back during the 80s in Canada. His dad was just like, yeah, he's a little fruity.
Right. Or he just wanted to act, and that was like enough.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he wanted to be in a play, and that was it. And I think we should also say at that time, Elizabeth had already known that she was like, or are we getting to that?
Oh yeah, we will get into that, but that is something that that's a
It's
struggle
like-
throughout her
Right.
entire life.
So she already at this point kind of knows that she's attracted to women.
Yeah. Actually, very next sentence.
Sorry.
While she pursued, oh no, it's all good. While she pursued her degree, she also pursued the hot college co-eds.
Yes.
God bless her for it. That obviously didn't sit well with her totally not a homo father. He had been keeping close tabs on her while she was in college, and after learning that she had attended a gay-friendly church service with one of her fellow softball enthusiasts, he had her sent to a Pray Away the Gay camp.
Damn. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. as the Patriot would say.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
When she was attending, was that the London college that she
That was the second one that she went to. The first one that she went to was the Baptist College.
Baptist?
Yeah,
Okay.
the London College was the one that she got her. It wasn't a nursing degree. It was no, that's where she got her nursing license. Was the London College.
Okay. Do you say in here, I can't remember, that her dad actually started taking classes
Okay, I was
at
trying
the
to.
college? That's how overbearing. I think it's at this Baptist because he said
Yeah,
he wanted to take. He wanted to be a.
So I
so
found
he was at the school at the same time as her?
He like when he heard that she was, you know, hanging out with girls or whatever, he like started taking classes at the college and was basically like, "What up?" Like even in college, you can't fucking.
I'm watching you.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I wonder why his poor wife was a doormat.
Right.
Like this guy, you can't imagine how overbearing this guy was.
Right.
Pray the gay away.
Pray the gay way. Pray the gay way.
It's too bad they made Peaches change those lyrics, because then she would have really had a message in that song.
Seriously, Dad. As we all know, gay conversion therapy has a 100% success rate.
Living proof.
Living proof. Everyone in this room is living proof, huh?
Hell
And
yeah.
Elizabeth was cured of all her shameful urges, obviously as you are, with her brain no longer clouded with fantasies of getting fisted in the back of a Subaru by a flannel-wearing lady lumberjack. She was able to pursue a degree in nursing from Conestoga College.
Conestoga.
What? Conestoga?
Yeah, Conestoga.
God, I mean, every fucking name in Canada sucks, except for Canada.
The fact that we haven't wiped them off the map at this point. And just
And what a great, name of a country. Canada.
easy to say. Makes sense.
Every fucking name
Every fucking
that comes
thing else.
out of that goddamn country.
Don't even get me started on provinces. Are you
Please?
shitting me?
Talk to this guy about it,
Call
right?
them states.
Nursing from Conestoga College. From there, she became a member of the deadliest institution in the Western world, socialized healthcare.
Wait, that's not what I wrote. No, I totally wrote that.
No, he fucking totally wrote it. It should come as no surprise that Elizabeth eventually caught the attention of a male suitor. After all, she had all the qualities of a good Canadian wife. A stocky frame capable of performing manual labor, multiple layers of insulating fat to help survive the harsh winters, and a double chin that even the most vicious wolves could not bite through. It was these qualities that earned her the affection of a truck driver named Donnie Wettlaufer. My God. Can we do Parker? Hey, hon, can we do my last name? No.
I don't think that Wettlaufer could have been said any better than the way that you just said it.
Coop.
Great writing, great delivery.
I know.
That was beautiful.
Coop. What a team we are, right?
Yeah, I think we do
What
a
a
really...
throuple we are, huh?
Oh yeah.
No, don't
What do you
bring
call
Joel
a
into
quad?
this.
A quadruple?
Quadruple?
Do we have a name for that now?
Quadruple?
Quadruple?
Gang
It's probably
bang.
from Canada, right? That name?
Yeah, sounds Canadian.
1997 was not only the year that Paul
Verhoeven.
Verhoeven,
You know where I'm going with this, Joel.
Starship Troopers.
Paul Verhoeven released the blockbuster film Starship Troopers. It
Yes.
was also the year that Donnie and Elizabeth tied the knot. After waddling and wheezing their way down the aisle, the portly couple began their life of marital bliss. Now listen,
This is the best writing you've done in a long time.
100%.
I'm passionate about Canada.
Yeah,
really passionate about Canada.
Who's
When
back,
he has
dude?
to write something bad about Canada, a light just turns on.
If I could get paid to just do that, I would be a multimillionaire.
Also, 1997, didn't we go down that rabbit hole? I think you might have been here, of like all the amazing movies that came out. 97,
13th Warrior, same year.
wasn't it Nicolas Cage's
we,
year?
No, we already did this whole thing
I know.
on
I'm
a
just
crime
saying.
corner.
I'm just saying. Was it
Great
not?
year for movies.
But wasn't it a great year for Nicolas Cage in particular
Yeah.
and movies? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
If
you
it's a-
didn't believe us that Face Off
And Con Air.
Came out in 97.
And Starship Troopers and 13th Warrior. That's a good year.
Okay, I still don't believe that Face Off and
Oh,
Con
God.
Air came
We're
out.
not doing this.
Look,
We
we
can't do it again.
moving
We
on.
can't
talked,
do it again.
talked
No,
about it
we
before.
cannot do it
You're not
again.
changing my mind. All right? Two completely different years.
That's very American of you, by the way. You showed me all the facts, but I'm not fucking
But I'm not changing
my
my
mind.
goddamn
All right.
mind.
Go ahead, Coop. What's up with these newlyweds?
As newlyweds, they faced many of the trials and tribulations that most young couples are presented with. Elizabeth was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and almost died from an overdose on her medication. She then had her nursing license restricted after being caught stealing painkillers from her patients. Restricted, not revoked.
Yes. For like a pretty short amount of time.
Yes,
It's like a suspension that's
A
Not
very
even that long.
Canadian amount of time.
Sure.
Is what I would call it. Everything would have worked out in the end had it not been for Donnie getting all bent out of shape when he found out his wife was developing a relationship with a woman she had met online.
Uh-oh.
Donnie.
He
What's
just
the
fucking
problem? You know what I'm
everything
saying?
up. Come on, Donnie.
Donnie.
See, that's something that Donnie didn't understand is when you land a woman like that, you have to make some concessions. You're dealing with an alpha female at that point, and she's going to have multiple people pursuing her.
Absolutely.
You just got to be okay with it.
Yeah. If you're gonna make her, shovel the snow, you might have to fucking deal with her female
Jane Doe.
relationship,
You might
right?
have to deal with her shoving her fist in another woman.
But also, like, why not Donnie? Why not just be like, all right,
Bring her in.
but I have some rules, right? Just like a Canadian husband.
Canadian.
I have some Canadian rules. You do it in my house, in front of me, right? Did I do a good Donnie?
Yeah.
That was a
perfect Donnie,
Canadian
right?
accent.
I could see him doing that right now.
Right?
Ugh.
Right? Listen,
In front of me.
I saw your fucking little chatty chat messages to your lady. There was many things Donnie was willing to overlook in his marriage to Elizabeth: the mood swings, drug abuse, and the fact that Elizabeth sweat like a marathon runner despite sub-zero temperatures. Were all a part of the package. Infidelity, however, was the maple leaf that broke the moose's back. Sorry, I should have said that straight face, but I couldn't. In 2007, Donnie and Elizabeth divided up their hockey memorabilia and went their separate ways.
It's a
Is
tragedy.
this Sheila that we're talking about that he finds, or another lady?
No, I couldn't find anything that said that Sheila was the specific one
one,
that she was
okay.
the developing the relationship with, but a relationship did develop out of that.
But it was just online, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how he found it. Because back in the day, you didn't know to fucking delete the cookies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You live and you learn.
Yep. It goes without saying that Elizabeth wasn't single for long because she was swooped up by another sexy single. As we stated before, she was blessed with being the standard for beauty in the Great White North. The societal views on homosexuality in Canada had become somewhat more accepting in the early 2000s, meaning Elizabeth was no longer shackled by social norms. This time, it was a prison cafeteria worker named Sheila Andrews that caught her interest. After a whirlwind romance, the women got married and moved in together. Is that true?
Yeah, they moved in together and they eventually got married.
Okay.
Are you against it or something? Are you
Not against
Yeah,
gay
that
marriage?
was a
No,
really
not against
weird.
it.
You got super pissed. just
You're
now.
walking that
No,
back real
'cause I
quick
didn't
there,
know.
Mike Pence.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, they lived together and they got, I don't know, in 2006, 2007 was, I'm sure gay marriage has been legal in Canada since like 95.
People would go to Canada for that gay marriage.
Okay.
Why are you so upset?
Strike
That's the
two,
part-
Canada.
I don't understand why Jesse's so upset about this.
I'm not upset. So what I heard is that Sheila and her had a relationship online for a really long time. When they finally met in person, Sheila was like, "What the fuck? This girl is crazy." So at the airport, she was like, "We're getting married." And Sheila's like, "Okay." They hung out a little
I am
bit.
in love with Elizabeth Wettlaufer.
Because she had never been able to like do this, she was literally like a child that was like getting to, you know, hang out, like finally meet someone in person. Sheila was like, she would like hung all over her, was like super weird, clingy. And then they were supposed to go back to Sheila's house, and she was like, I took her to a hotel because I didn't want her to know where I
shit.
lived.
Pro move.
And she was like super weird. She finally was like, dude, I can't do this. And Elizabeth like fucking freaked out. And Sheila was like, what the fuck?
I'm going to marry this woman.
And then they got married?
Yeah, they weren't
All
together
right.
for they weren't together
So that
for
was
all
the
that
beginning.
long, but
Right.
yeah,
that
it
was
a-
the beginning. And I guess maybe they rekindled whatever. So after a whirlwind, they got married and moved in together. Around this time, Elizabeth got herself a job at a nursing home called Crescent Care. Right?
Again, what the fuck, Canada?
Again, what the fuck, Canada?
Carescent.
Right?
It sounds like a
Crescent
toothpaste.
Care in Woodstock, Ontario. You may recall that this was the very same long-term care facility that James Silcox had been sent to by his family. I'm sure you can see where this is going, huh?
I wonder if the two are connected somehow. Elizabeth was a woman with an abundance of urges and very little willpower. Her drug abuse had already put her job and her relationship at risk. According to Sheila, Elizabeth also had a difficult time controlling her temper, which often led to childish outbursts. Her darkest urge, however, was something she called the red surge. And this is real creepy the way that she talks about it.
The red
But
surge.
this is where I
Oh,
say
God.
that she's very self-aware.
It is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were talking about that right before the show, and it is really weird how the way that she describes everything, it's almost like the way that a drug dealer or a drug user
Right.
talks about using drugs. It's like, I know it's bad for me, but
Yeah.
I just can't stop.
Yeah, and she's addicted to drugs too.
Oh, God.
So
double
it's
whammy.
like she has that and the red surge.
The red surge. What the fuck is
yeah,
that?
what's the red surge, Coop?
Hey, thank God she was beautiful, though.
Yeah, I know,
Does it
gorgeous.
happen once a month?
What the fuck, dude?
Wait, the Canadians don't have periods?
Please.
Nailed it.
I am so angry at myself for not thinking of that joke when I was writing the notes.
Don't you dare, Coop.
That's the first thing I thought of when you said that. I was like, is he doing a period joke right now?
I should have.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Patriot
yeah.
thought
Well,
of
of course the
communism.
Patriot would.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It was this so-called red surge that resulted in the death of James Silcox, and he wasn't her only victim. In the year of our Lord, 2007, Elizabeth
year.
gave into her red surge for the first time. Tensions between her and Sheila had been building, leaving Elizabeth with a need for an emotional outlet. Although she had continued to write poetry, her nonsensical ramblings weren't enough to release the passion within her. She needed something more. She needed to end somebody's life.
That would do it.
It works for me, usually.
Yeah.
Sometime around June of 2007, Elizabeth injected 87-year-old... Oh, we talked about this
Here we
fucking
go.
name, too.
The
Jesus
worst name in
Christ.
the whole thing. Ready? Go.
Clotilda Adriana.
Clotilda! Clotilda. Can you think of if you were to just be like, what's the worst fucking name you can name any woman ever? Clotilda.
Tilda.
You could literally like write that out on any part of the female anatomy and be like, oh, that's a Clotilda right there.
Right?
Like, oh, yeah, sounds about right.
Exactly. The inflamed Clotilda.
Oh, I had to put my dog down the other day. Her Clotilda got inflamed.
Oh,
Vet couldn't do anything
man.
about it.
Tale as old as time.
Clotilda.
God. Oh, Adriano?
Adriano's
Adriano's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a dude?
No,
No, that's the
Clotilda
last name.
Adriano. That's
Oh.
her last name.
That's weird. I don't like that. Not together.
Despite already being older than dirt and in poor health, Clotilda miraculously survived the ordeal. Being a long-term care facility for the elderly, it wasn't uncommon for patients of Crescent Care to mysteriously become ill. Due to this, no investigation was made, and Elizabeth carried on with her life without being questioned.
So should we talk about how she did this, Elizabeth?
So actually, yeah, let's get into that.
So she was addicted to, she was in the perfect field to be addicted to opioids, right? Tale as old as time, you take it, that, say that the patient's getting it, you get it, whatever. Then they started, because of the, influx of people finding out that if you, get into the nursing field, you can pretty easily just take people's stuff. They started cracking down, and they have, the things that we have in place now, which is like every medication needs to be, clocked, recorded, needs to know who it's going
Someone's
to,
gotta sign it
when,
and
just
all
a
this shit,
keeping track of it,
Another strike against socialized healthcare.
right? So then she couldn't just take it anymore. So now she had to give them something else and take that, right?
So do you think that it wasn't attempted murder at first? It was just replacing what she wanted with what she had?
I think in the beginning, but when she was doing that, it was like saline. Do you know when it was like, oh, I'm just like,
Yeah,
whatever.
that would make it
Then
easier.
she just, whatever, the red surge. So most of these people at this
And
point,
that time would come.
yeah, most of the time, these people are pre-diabetic, if not diabetic. So she gives them, insulin, high dose of insulin, and basically just walks out of the room. Because if someone else, you give them insulin, there's someone else there or someone else checking on them, they can intervene and fix it. But if you are there giving them the insulin, they will just slowly die, and it won't be detectable, right?
Slowly
so
die
this
as
was
long as
her
your name's
kind
not
of
Clotilda, apparently.
right. She was 87 and dementia. Most of these people are dementia. Why? Because if they say that a woman came in here and gave me something, people are either going to think they're crazy or they won't remember it anyways.
Ugh, I just watched a video on that. There was like these nurses got caught like beating up old ladies that had dementia. Because the grandmas,
What?
the grandkids
What do you
of
mean
the
you
grandma.
watched it?
I don't know how I came across it on YouTube, but it was like a clip of it, and they're like these grandkids hid a camera in their grandma's nursing home, and it was a white woman and another race of two women, and they were just like slapping her and like pushing her and holding her down by her face and like being super mean to her, and then she would just forget.
Fuck.
That's how they were getting away with like slapping around an old white woman. You've seen that? Yeah, dude, I got so fucking pissed.
Seriously.
Like, fuck.
But you realize that your recommended videos are based off of your search history?
Yeah,
and,
no,
and
because
what
of
you
this
engage
fucking
with?
show, my entire search
yeah.
is
Because
fucked.
he has to look up shit to put on the thing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Link.
Yeah, it's like Britney Spears music videos and then grandma's getting jumped.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Less
right
than
industry.
2 months later, the red surge struck again.
A month later, huh?
Less than 2 months later.
Well, okay, so we'll say it didn't work with
Clitoris.
Clotilda.
I want to say like Clotitle, but
What was her
it's not.
nickname? Like, if
Cloaca?
she was around long enough where her friends had a nickname for it.
Claudie.
Claudie, dude.
Claudie,
Or even just
dude.
Chloe.
Clot.
Oh,
Let's call her
here,
Clot.
Clot, dude.
Here
We'll
comes
just call
old
her
Big
Clot.
Clit Clotilda.
Yep. So we'll say too in this, it didn't work. Someone else, another nurse came in and was like, realized that she was having some kind of diabetic seizure essentially, or everything that was happening was because of blood sugar levels, and corrected it. She lived again, but didn't remember. Then she tried on the sister.
That was about at least a few months later.
It was a few months later. Okay, so less than 2 months later, the red surge struck Elizabeth once again, and this time it would prove to be fatal. First kill, dude. Her target was 84-year-old James Silcox. After failing to kill her first victim, Elizabeth increased the dosage of insulin she practiced. This was enough to end the
Learn from
life
your
of a
mistakes.
World War II veteran. He was found dead in his room at the care facility on August 11th, 2007.
Oh, no.
I think it's important to say, too, James was a little bit of a dick at this point.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
You're
He
telling me
would-
that an 84-year-old
World
grumpy
War
man
II
is going to be an asshole?
with dementia
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to be
I
an
don't buy it.
asshole.
There's no
so
way.
he liked to grab boobs.
Somebody from the greatest generation?
I know.
Come on.
What the hell?
And by
really?
greatest generation, you mean when you could just grab boobs and no one could fucking say shit, right?
Yeah.
He was just going around grabbing boobies?
He was look, the other thing that happens in these facilities, you walk through the halls, it's going to be a lot of yelling, it's going to be a lot of racial slurs, it's going to be a lot of grabbing people.
He doesn't
hard
know he's
to,
doing it, right?
Doesn't know he's doing it.
Okay.
So he says.
But on the face of it, it's like,
He's like, yeah,
fuck you, dude, right?
get the fuck off me.
When was the last
And
time?
you're a lesbian, and this is like your dad looking you in the face. You know what I mean? It's like she...
Putting him down.
I'm not going to say he deserved it. He didn't. Is it okay at that advanced stage of both disease, age, everything,
If he was suffering at
that
all,
James, nah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you let an old dog suffer?
no.
No.
So why do we treat dogs better than humans?
Look, the problem is, like, it'd be different, and there are cases like this of mercy killings, right?
Mm-hmm.
There
Please
are
mercy kill
people
me,
like
please.
nurse, killer nurses or whatever that are in their mind a little bit, or they can use the mercy killing type of argument because you're just like, it was not a good life.
He's fucking suffering. Put him down.
Suffering, and he doesn't even know he's suffering. He doesn't even know, even if he tells you I want to die, it's in a crazy fucking rant, and you're not of sound mind to say I want to die, right?
Oh, yeah, seriously. If I ever get to that point, please just take me out back and shoot me in the head.
Right.
Even if I tell you I'm happy.
They would
if,
arrest
If
me.
I tell you I'm happy, I'm lying and I'm delusional.
Exactly.
Put me down.
Exactly. And it's a shame that, like, the only way that you can really go through the steps to end your own life is, like, you have to be clear of mind. So you have to do it before, you get a diagnosis, whatever. You have to be like, this is the only time that I can do this. Unfortunately, right? Because when you're actually suffering is when you're not clear enough to be able to do it.
So
in
we
a
gotta
legal
write that
way.
shit now. We gotta write down now in our will to kill me if I get dementia to the point where I don't know anything and I'm going crazy. Kill
Or you
me.
could do like a
Right.
Can you do
DNR
that?
order, do not resuscitate kind of thing.
But you don't die from dementia. You just go crazy.
Especially if you're in a nursing home, they will keep you alive
That's
and
where the
drugged
money's
up
coming
and
from.
basically just like,
And see, that's another difference between the U.S. and Canada. Is in Canada, you have to get permission to have somebody else do it for you. Here in America, we can just do it ourselves.
right.
Plenty of guns around.
True.
So true. Elizabeth's relationship with Sheila had continued to deteriorate, which seemed to cause the red surge to come more frequently. She would later claim that after taking the life of one of her victims, she would feel an intense surge in her chest, accompanied by maniacal laughter. In her own words, she felt the surging and heard her own laughter that was, quote, like a cackling from the pit of hell. She also described it as like orgasmic. It was like this buzzing through her body.
When she's talking about it in the interrogation, she keeps like motioning towards her chest, like how it's this overwhelming feeling that she gets, and she hears she's not like laughing out loud. She just hears herself cackling in her head.
From the Mayflower.
Ah, yes.
Thank you, sir.
In December of
Mayflower was
2007,
Mexican.
the red surge struck again. And I think it's safe to say too, like she is really trying in between. Like she knows she has a problem. She knows it's like being addicted to drugs, which she's tried to stop too. She's tried to stop all of these urges and addictions.
Yeah, and that is a good thing to point out, is like through this entire process, she is struggling with drug addiction. She's stealing painkillers from the
Yes.
patients, like through the entire 7 years that all of this is going on.
Yes. So Elizabeth injected 84-year-old. She hates an 84-year-old, huh? 84-year-old Maurice Granat.
I think it's
Granite?
Granite. It's another one of those fucking
I
Canadian
forgot
names.
Canadian. Maurice, dumbass Canadian last name with insulin. This resulted in Maurice having a stroke and becoming bedridden for the rest of his life. As before, the stroke was attributed to the fact that Maurice was 84 years old and no investigation was carried out. This seemed to embolden Elizabeth, who struck again later that month. So we're going through a surge.
It's almost like, when you read about other serial killers, sometimes they'll go just like into beast mode, where they'll have very
One
spread
right
out-
after the other. Yeah.
And then they'll
10
get to
years,
a point where it's
nothing.
like within a very short period
Yes.
of time, they'll just go to town. Like when Ted Bundy went into the sorority house.
Yeah.
They just went buck wild for a while, which is probably a pretty insensitive way to put it. But
Sure.
yeah, there's a lot of different people that, if they have the tendency to kill, sometimes they'll space it out, and then they just gotta go for it every now and then.
Elizabeth's first poisoning attempt on Clotilda.
Big click Clotilda.
Click function had been a failure. It would seem she had a grudge against this particular family because in late December of 2007, she injected Clotitles.
Clotitles is even better.
I'm like a little bit dyslexic, so it's like
Clotitles.
Clotitle is what I see. It's Clotilda.
Clotilda. Ugh.
So you injected Clotilda's sister, 87-year-old
Here's another one.
Albina. I don't know.
Albina? Albina.
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 Albina?
Albina.
I would think Albina.
Demiderios. I could not live in
Albina, dude.
Canada.
It's
That's
Albina.
for
Yeah,
sure.
seriously.
Anyways, she did her normal thing, large dose of insulin. Albina was obviously made from the same strong stock as her sister and survived the poisoning.
For the next 7 years, Elizabeth continued to sporadically poison residents of Crescent Care. She waited until 2011 before going on a killing spree between the months of October and November, where she claimed 3 more victims. All of the patients died from a fatal overdose of insulin. Her second fatal poisoning occurred on October 13th or 14th. The victim was 87-year-old Gladys Millard.
Millard.
It's a little bit
She
more-
doesn't let
a
anybody
little bit
get
more
past
American, but
87.
She does have
Millard.
a very specific, not just age range, but even the dates that she commits the murders on. It seems like she goes for the 13th for at least a handful of them.
It's like a cycle or something.
Before the month was over, 95-year-old Helen Matheson was found dead from what was attributed to natural causes. Roughly 2 weeks later, on November 7th, 96-year-old...
As soon as I say she doesn't let people get past 87. Now, 95, 96, what are you doing alive?
That's true. That's fucking old.
I mean, my goodness.
Okay, but seriously, though, who wants to live to be that old? Right?
Maybe she's doing God's work.
84 is like...
Past 60 seems
87,
like too
I
much.
think that's a good time to...
If you're still in good health, then yeah, it'd be a
Sure.
good time to go, but I don't know.
If
I don't
you
wanna
have
be
your
around past
wits
60.
about you, there's in town, they did because we have the solar eclipse, right? Total solar eclipse. There's a guy, 105 years old, they talked to on the news. Because he's like the second time he's going to see this, like, whatever, total solar eclipse. He's subtitled, but looking spry, right? He knows the eclipse is coming. He knows when it is. He's excited for it. He pulls out his little,
Is
lawn
he
chair,
walking?
talks to the news,
he
flannels
walking?
buttoned, walking.
That's what's up. If
So
can
then you
still
go,
walk, you're good.
okay, you're 105, but okay. If he was in a nursing home not knowing what the fucking eclipse was,
He'd be dead already.
dude, would he want to even be there?
It's time for Elizabeth Wettlaufer to show up at that point.
Call Wettlaufer.
But I mean, seriously,
I'm a fan.
when was the last time that any of you guys have been to a nursing home?
Long
So-
time.
Never.
I went to one out in College Station about a month ago at this point. It's fucking depressing.
He
is.
just goes there to feel better about himself.
I know. We don't want. Do we ask? Do we
No,
ask
don't-
why you
don't
were-
even ask.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. You don't want to know because I know.
Met a
You
girl
know? Okay. What?
I met a girl on Hinge. What-
Okay. Okay, you can tell me.
They do still
after.
have the internet there.
Yeah. Age is just a number, Jesse.
And that was a very large number. Elizabeth wasn't visited by the red surge again until 2013. On the 13th of July, 90-year-old Helen Young, which that's kind of an ironic name
Yep.
for a 90-year-old, became the next victim to die from an injection of insulin. Once again, the death was attributed to the fact that she was 90 years old. The angel of death was free to kill again. And 3 years later, that's exactly what she did.
Damn.
So she did take a 3-year break at this point, which it's kind
And
of...
we should say that she's getting infractions, I guess, at work because of drug-related mistakes all throughout this.
How many of those can you really get as a nurse before they just revoke
they're
your
like-
license?
Well, but you're like, this is your only job really here. Like, we know you can change a diaper. The drug part is like really what you're special at, like really why we have you here and not someone else, right? So what are you doing?
Well, in the drug infractions, that was more instances of her taking...
Kind of mixing stuff up or
It's like,
ooh,
oh,
whoops.
whoopsie, I mixed up the Percocet
Right, and they
with
said
the
that
Tylenol.
she was always like very apologetic, took responsibility for it. I'm so sorry, and so they would just kind of, all right, that's another.
Sweep it under the rug kind of thing. But I mean, really, how many times?
I think also because it's hard to find people
That will do
that
that
want to
job.
fucking do that job, dude. Really,
Yeah, true.
in
Well,
a
God bless
real
her for
like
it.
true and good, morally, doing it to actually help people make money. Hard to probably find. Not nurses. I'm saying in a nursing home, dealing with all of that. Dementia. Everyone has dementia. They're grabbing your boobs. They're yelling at you. You can't. You know what I'm saying? So if she mixes up a couple drugs,
In a way, she's a hero, is what you're saying. Like, she's a hero. She's
saying-
doing God's work as well. She's saving lives
First
in
responder.
I'm saying it without saying it, right?
a way. Putting people out of their misery is what she's doing.
I'm saying it without saying it.
It is a really
Because
good
I know
point.
Joel
How do
will
you
say it.
how do you find people that are willing to do that kind of job?
Right.
Clean up old people shit all day? No, thank you. 2014 was a rough year for our neighbors to the north. Canadian crooner and world-class fuckboy Justin Bieber had just been arrested for assault. The Los Angeles Kings had won the Stanley Cup, and to make matters worse, in less than a year, blackface enthusiast and Fidel Castro love child proved me wrong. Justin Trudeau would become prime minister. It was in these dark times
Also a
that the
hobo.
red, right?
Okay.
It was in these dark times that the red surge visited Elizabeth once again.
Sometime between March 22nd and 28th, Elizabeth claimed another victim. Her youngest yet, 79-year-old Maureen Pickering, suddenly fell ill and died soon after. Only a few months later, on August 23rd, 75-year-old,
She's getting younger now.
calm down.
Yeah, really. Robbing the cradle.
Elizabeth. 75-year-old.
Oh.
Just say it.
All right.
You say it, Coop.
Arpad Horvath.
Dude,
Arpad.
that's the best one.
Arpad.
Arpad Warbath?
Why didn't Apple think of that? Arpad.
I don't know if that's a male or a female, but
Who
either
knows?
way, their parents hated them.
Who knows?
Arpad Warbath?
Horbath.
Horbath.
Horvath.
Horvath.
Vath.
The
Horbath is something different.
Arpad.
That's when you
Yeah.
wash yourself with wet wipes in the bathroom.
Arpad Horvath
Jesus
would
Christ.
follow suit. Thankfully, they would be the last fatal poisonings carried out by Elizabeth Wettlaufer.
Oh, shit. We should
I
do a
mean,
toast to this guy then. Crime
How
juice.
many fucking names? bad
Here's to
names
Arpad Horvath.
Here's that Horvath and a Wettlaufer.
Oh, God. Canada's not winning any
Right.
points.
When Elizabeth described the red surge as an uncontrollable urge to kill, she was actually telling the truth. Throughout the years that she had been poisoning patients, she had reached out multiple times for help. She had confessed to friends and family that she had been murdering patients, but nobody took her seriously. At
the
one
fuck?
point, she even confessed to a lawyer who responsibly advised her to not tell anyone or she might get caught.
Whoa.
Proving once again that lawyers have...
Are awesome?
Yeah.
What lawyer is that? Because that's the lawyer I want to get.
Now, by the way, that's the lawyer you want, the one on your side, right?
True.
I hear you. Don't tell anyone, right?
But I
And
mean, come on. He has the opportunity to stop more murders
To
from
be a rat?
happening and-
No.
Or to fucking make more
Make
money
some
from
money?
the client, dude. Where are you?
Okay. All
What
right,
are you
all right.
talking about? Proving once again that lawyers have justifiably earned their reputation as moral shitbags. Yes, right? That's the thing. When these people are defending innocent people, you don't think they actually know what the real story is?
You know, I saw a video the other day of a criminal defense lawyer talking about defending clients that they know for a fact did something wrong, and they still have to
100%. And
give
they're
them
just
defense.
they're just trying to find in the law where they can get them off, right?
His justification for it was, well, if let's say somebody kills a cop and they get shot in return, cop's dead, the criminal comes into the emergency room. Are the doctors not going to treat him? Are they just going to let him die, or are the doctors going to treat him? It's like, okay, yeah, true.
That's
But this guy just flat out, some lady called him and said, hey, I can't stop killing people. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Don't
Just
tell anybody.
He wasn't even getting paid for it. He's just like, dude, just keep it down.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
tell the
He was
cops.
just
Keep
like-
your mouth shut. It's going to be fine.
Right. That's a horrible analogy from that guy, by the way.
Yeah,
It
like
actually doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You got to do your job no matter what.
I'll take the defense of like, look, I'm here to defend the criminal justice system, right? Which is like if something happened to them along the way, from no Miranda rights to a fucking whatever, I'm here to make sure that for people that really didn't do it, that we uphold these things even if the person is guilty, right? I'll take that kind of response over that dude's. Anyways,
that would be believable. Pretty much what he was saying. He was saying it without saying it. He was like, "Oh, dude, fucking the money's good. Just trying to get that bag."
yeah.
But what if, when you do that, what if you find out, oh shit, somebody is setting him up, and you find out that it is true he didn't do it because you did all the work when everyone else is saying, oh, he's a murderer, he fucking did it, and then you do the work even though they don't deserve it, and you find out that it was all set up.
Yeah, I think they
Broken
have
clock's right twice a
to.
day.
I think, not a lawyer, obviously.
True.
But I think they have to assume that they're innocent. Even if deep down they go, this fucking guy did it, girl
I
did
can't
it,
think of
whatever.
job,
I
right?
think they
Either
have to
way
go, let me pretend that he didn't and find the way that I can prove that, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't, then you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, if you try your best and you
that's
still
gotta
can't prove they're
suck,
innocent,
though.
then they fucking
You
did
can
it
always,
for sure.
by the way, any good lawyer will tell you, you can always find something. Some way, some story, something to defend them, right?
It wouldn't be until September of 2016 that Elizabeth's confessions would be taken seriously. After years of struggling with drug abuse, she checked herself into a rehab facility where she once again confessed to murdering her patients. This time, her claims didn't fall on deaf ears. It wasn't easy, though. In addition to informing the staff of the rehab facility, Elizabeth also sent a 4-page confession letter to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Canada. So like the owners of the rehab facility, she sent a 4-page letter to them outlining what she had done, what she was struggling with. That's finally what got them to be like, oh shit, she's telling the truth.
And I think when she got fired too, the last time, they sent something to the board or whatever they fucking have in Canada, right? And that was never really
kilometers?
looked at or followed through on. They're like, we have suspicions that this person not only has all these infractions, suspensions, that she's actually doing this possibly on purpose. And they were like, yeah, we'll get to that. We're Canada. Do you know what I mean?
Too busy. It's hockey season.
Look.
Elizabeth Wettlaufer was arrested in October of 2016 and immediately confessed to all of her crimes. During her interrogation, she informed police that she had poisoned 14 victims, 8 of which ultimately died. It was also during this interrogation that she made the most chilling confession of all, which was captured on video.
No shit.
And before we play this recording, be warned that this isn't for the faint of heart.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna pass gas for this point.
So, as far as Mr. Silcox goes then, besides what you were feeling in your stomach?
I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna pass gas for this point.
So,
She ripped ass.
You can barely hear it. She said, if you didn't hear it, again, explicit, but I'm sorry, I'm going to probably have to pass gas soon. And then she farts super loud. And
That's a big
the
girl, too.
investigator.
She is
That's
a big girl.
girl,
You were,
right?
I thought you were fat.
She's a strong woman.
I thought
In
you were
the
making
small-
jokes, but you were fat shaming.
Small interrogation room.
I said
This
nothing
is
bad
the
about her.
interrogation that they put, interrogation room that they put you in to really feel like you're cornered, right?
Yeah,
you have
she could
no
barely fit
way
in there.
out. They both can barely fit in there.
That's crazy.
Sealed,
And
no
she turned
windows.
the tables on the cop.
And she said, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have to pass gas soon. Then did.
And boom.
And he said,
Bass drop.
was-
wait, he
It
said,
was pretty much her saying, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
so he said, as far as Mr. Silcox goes, as far as what you're feeling, besides what's in your stomach, what you're feeling. So he's having fun with it too, huh? Yes. He said, as far as Mr. Silcox goes, how are you feeling besides what's in your stomach? about
Beautiful. There goes my hero.
Because I'm sure he was just like, you motherfucker.
You fucking. And that shit stank. You could tell.
He was really polite about it, though. He was like, oh, okay, go
Canadian.
ahead. Yeah.
Canadian. So.
That room stinks right now.
Oh, buddy.
How long did it stink? Probably like 20
That was
minutes.
the most, and it was
They had to rebuild the building.
The
They just
whole
knocked it down.
exchange was
It's
so
foul,
polite, wasn't it?
All of it was, yeah.
The whole interrogation, very polite.
Mm-hmm.
And she confessed, yeah?
Yeah.
And it was just pretty much, which she had been trying to do, by the way, for years. It's almost like she wanted to get caught, and no one would fucking put her away. And finally, when she was like confessing, she's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I feel like the only way. So following her confession, Elizabeth was charged with 8 counts of murder, 4 counts of attempted murder, and 2 counts of aggravated assault. In June.
And 1 count of passing gas in front of a
yeah,
police
and
officer.
1 count of being a little bit rude.
Well, that's ultimately what got her, because in the I think it's the Canadian Constitution, it says she who smelt it dealt it.
Mm-hmm. And no farting indoors or something like that.
But then it's also followed up by a little subline that says she who denies it supplied it, and that's what ultimately sealed
Then there's
the case.
another amendment that says if you warn someone it's about to happen. You know what I mean?
Then,
If you give no warning, the punishment is
death.
Death, but she obviously
she narrowly
gave
avoided
the warning.
death
Hey,
sentence.
I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna have to pass gas soon. By soon, I mean now. June of 2017, she pleaded guilty to all counts and waived her right to a preliminary trial. Later that year, she was convicted on all counts and sentenced to 8 life sentences with a possibility for parole after 25 years. She is currently incarcerated at a secure facility in Montreal where she is receiving unspecified medical treatment and surely praying that she doesn't have a nurse like Elizabeth Wettlaufer, unless she's feeling frisky. So what I was saying is that she was she ended up saying was like the only even in the interrogation is like, I feel like the only way that this is going to stop is if you arrest me and I'm in prison, because otherwise it's not. So there are, like I said, she's self-aware. She knows what she's doing. She knows when it's coming on. She doesn't really want to do it, but it's an overwhelming feeling. And she wants to stop. She thinks every time she gets caught that it's going to be it, and they just go, no big deal, because she's in Canada. And she's like, man, if I was fucking in America, I'd be fucking locked up.
Are you talking about the farts or the murders?
All of it.
I'm sorry.
We don't
Gosh, how much now we know in the interrogation, how much was she farting all around the fucking nursing home and everywhere?
Oh my God.
Literally, while I was sitting here, while you guys were talking, I was thinking about that. I'm like, God, she must have just been like fat
ripping
and
them.
gross and stinky. She probably didn't shower for weeks sometimes.
Well, you're in a nursing home.
She had bad
Who cares?
They're not gonna know
Who
any different.
smells worse than you? The patient?
Oh,
Who
man.
cares?
Yeah.
She was
If you don't bathe them-
ripping them in front of her patients.
Yeah. If you're not bathing them, if you're not changing their diaper, have at it. Live your life.
Getting revenge.
All you got to do is you just turn down their hearing aid, do what you got to do, turn it back up, and nobody knows about it.
Can't turn down the smell aid, dude. There's no, you could,
That's your last sense to go. All those 80-year-olds
yeah.
smell all of that shit.
Yeah, dude. Right as they're going, they're like, God damn you.
damn
You know
it.
what I mean?
God damn you, Clitora. Wait,
Yeah,
what's her name?
Wettlaufer.
Clitora.
Oh, that's someone she killed.
I call her Clotitle, but she's actually Clotilda.
I think all the names that we came up with are better than her actual name.
Exactly. But you know, she's not a.
Is
She
she
might
still
not
alive?
be. She might not be hating the women's block, if you know what I'm saying. You know,
yeah.
finally,
Yeah, maybe she's getting laid
finally,
and at peace.
she
Finally
can, you
found
know,
herself a good lumberjack. Lady lumberjack.
Lumberjane.
hold a
Lumberjane.
pocket.
Sorry, Lumberjane.
Oh, is it Lumberjane?
Mm-hmm.
First time I've heard it, but I'm all for it. God, imagine the size of those hands.
And she may be like, look, I can't do the crazy shit that I'm finally clean. I'm not killing people. And I've got
Getting laid.
a girlfriend. It's sad to say. I don't want her to be happy. She killed a bunch of gams.
Well, that depends on if she unless she saved them. Maybe she was picking the ones that were really sick. We don't know.
Yeah, I think some people were trying to kind of.
Maybe they were like, "Hey, I am going crazy, but right now I'm not crazy, and please kill me when you can."
Honestly, she could have gone that route. She could have even said, in the confession that it was Mercy killing, but she never did.
Oh,
she
true.
was always very honest about why she was doing
She didn't
the
say
enjoyment.
why she picked him, like how she would pick her victim.
No,
it was all just the red surge, according to her.
It was like, let's say you want to get heroin. You're not going to like, somebody comes with some heroin. You're like, nah.
Keep that one alive because I want that drug.
Well, you're not going to be like, nah.
No,
that one looks good, but it's not like exactly what I want. So I'll wait for the next drug dealer to maybe fucking show up if they
let's
do.
not go to this drug dealer. Let's go to the good drug dealer.
Right.
We'll drive to the other side of town.
When you're jonesing, you'll take whatever fucking shows up at the door, right? And I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Whoever was there
I put
on the
money-
shift that she could felt like she could get away with it. That's what was happening.
Yeah, I bet you she never killed any of the ones that had the medication she liked, though, because I had to keep coming in so she'd get hers, right?
Yeah, it's actually a good point.
Very good point.
But I mean, she probably could have gotten into the room
Yeah,
where
because
they
maybe
keep all
these
the
people, because they
prescriptions.
were dementia or didn't need pain meds or something, they were like antipsychotics or pills that she just wasn't fucking into, right? And so she's like, you gotta
Yeah,
go.
who the fuck would take antipsychotics? Those aren't fun.
That's what I'm saying. So like she was like, none of your drugs that you need to take
Yeah,
are fun.
The patients that
So I'm
had
gonna
no
kill
fun
you.
drugs are the ones she killed.
Yeah, the ones that were like still the hips still hurting, they need the opioids. You're like,
You're
I'll keep
staying
you
alive.
Yeah. But again, I hope she finally has figured out what she's into.
Hope she's found her peace.
Yeah, I hope maybe she might be, maybe
She's not murdering.
Maybe she's fisting. Maybe somebody's fisting her. Maybe
Maybe
somebody's prolapsing.
There it is. I really hope that her and Sheila work it out.
I hope it works out for her, huh?
Yeah.